Hey there, friends. Recently, I realized that my pocket cards were a bit of a mess, and I had so many that I knew I would not use. So I figured it was time for me to go through my cards, take out the ones that I wasn't going to use, and organize the rest of my stash. This is what I want to share with you today, how I did that with products from scrapbook.com. Let's take a look. So I started by going through all of my pocket cards, and what you see here are the ones that were the keepers. All of the other ones I took out, and I did that while, binging Netflix and things like that. I went through all of my cards, probably thousands of them. So now, once I had all of the cards that I knew I wanted to keep, ones that I could see myself using, I decided to organize them. So I did part of them by colors. So if they didn't really have a specific theme, they were more color based, I pulled them apart for colors. And what I'm doing now is I'm going through each one and organizing them by their color families. Now, if they are primarily multicolored, then I'm putting them in a multicolored pack. If they have a dominant color or one that I know is more my favorite color to use, then I'm putting them in grouped by that color. So that chevron one up there, I put that one in the more peachy tones because I know that if I'm using a peach layout, I'm more likely to use that card. But this is the easiest part in the process really, is just to sort them into piles by color. I did the same thing with my themed cards and I organized them by certain themes. So I put out a little scrap piece of paper that I wrote on Disney and I put all of my Disney cards on top of that scrap piece of paper. And you'll see that in just a minute because I have those all organized in organizers from scrapbook.com. So today I'm going to be using the Craftroom Basics Pocket Card Organizers and tab dividers in both 3x4 and 4x6 sizes. So you can see that organizer right there. So if I find, while I'm grouping by color here, if I find a pocket card that is really better put in a certain category because a word or phrase on it that I know I'll use in a certain theme, then I'm going to put that in the theme box. So I'm going to have two different boxes in my stash. I really love doing this process, and I want to emphasize to you, if you think it's also time for you to organize your pocket cards or any of your stash for that matter, the most important thing to start with is to get rid of what you know you won't use. Ones that kind of have styles on them that you don't work with anymore, ones that have colors that you don't like to use. I myself really don't like cream based cards. I'd rather have a white base, so I only keep the ones, if they're cream, like that one with the R down there, I only keep ones that I know I'm going to use for a certain reason. I also have ones that, I know I'll be able to stamp on or to use in some other way. So you can see here, these are the Craftroom Basics Pocket Card Organizers. They have 6 compartments, 4 for 3x4s and 2 by 4x6. I also have the 3x4 tab dividers. Those come in 8-piece sets, and I have the 4x6 tab dividers. Those come in 8-piece sets as well. They're a really sturdy cardstock, a really heavy cardstock, and they work perfectly for me to use my label machine. They do come with labels, but since I want to print mine out to have that all look the same, I'm using my label machine today. So in this organizer on the right, you can see here I have those colorful pieces of paper that organize everything by a category. So what I'm going to do here is use my label maker and print out all of the categories, get those on the tabs. I have to do that in the medium size, so I'll probably print out the large one first just to see if that works. Medium works better on these tab dividers, and you'll have to, if you have a different label machine, you'll have to decide what size you are going to use, or you can just handwrite onto those cute little rainbow labels that scrapbook.com gives you in every pack. And they do give you, extra in a pack in case you have a mess up or you have to change those out. Unfortunately for me, because of the width of my label tape, I have to cut mine down too. So for every single one that I'm doing, I am printing it, I'm cutting off the sides, cutting off the top and bottom. So it's a bit of a process. Overall, this took me about an hour, but I wouldn't have done anything different because the way it looks at the end is just really wonderful. It's really clean, it's super organized, and I love it. So, what I used to do the organization process was actually pieces of paper from my daughter's art bin. It's like thin colored paper because I didn't want to waste my own cardstock, and the colored paper helped those dividers to stand out a little bit more. So this was a really great process for me, was just to go through all of my cards and decide what would I use that one for. I have categories for kids, for travel, for seasons, holidays, things like that. And I can really see myself using all of these cards for either event-based layouts or my monthly spreads that kind of document the overview of our month. So I'm going through my entire themed organizer here and adding all of those tabs. Next, I'm going to move on to my 4x6s, and I have already done all of the colors. You can see those on the left side there. So moving on to my 4x6s. I still have those 4x6s on the left side that I need to group by color, but I already have my themed ones done, so I'm going ahead and getting those done. I have a lot less 4x6 pocket cards than I do 3x4s, and that's mostly because my monthly spreads use a lot of 3x4s, and so I primarily focus on those. One of the best things about organizing is that it really helps you to see what you have, and it gives you your mojo back for creating. So after I had all of these done and they looked all beautiful, it was time for me to make a monthly pocket page. All of my cards that are in a collection, so they all coordinate together, I'm keeping in little plastic envelopes, and I'm going to use one of those from scrapbook.com. It's their Simple Scrapbooks Cards Everyday Moments. And since this spread is September, this Everyday Moments collection is really perfect for that kind of change in the season from summer to fall, because the colors are a little bit more kind of fallish but not overly orangey. And so this is kind of the perfect collection of these cards to start out this spread. The thing that I love to do from here is to use a collection of cards that work together, and then to fill in the gaps, I go to my individual cards. So right now I've grabbed the kids cards because I have a picture of my son here, and so I'm putting a little phrase card there because it's a cute one. I also found the Let Them Be Little because I want to add some black. I want to add some contrast to this page. I have the home one there with the black circle. I'm putting the Let Them Be Little on the right there because I have a photo of my son at the playground. So what I'm doing here is just getting my journaling printed on these cards. Now I'm using my light that is right here on the right side of my desk, which is why you can see my head. I'm using my LED panel lights to get those placed on top of my printed text. So I printed out my text sized for the cards, and then I'm putting these on top of where I printed, and then I will run those back through my printer to get the text on there. The font I'm using is American Typewriter. That's my new favorite. It's a little bit cleaner than the one I was using earlier called Rough Typewriter. And so printing my journaling just allows me to get more words on the card. I do the same when I create a layout, it just helps me. The other thing I love to do when I'm creating pocket pages is to use temporary adhesive to adhere those pockets to the pocket protector while I'm working. This ensures that my pockets, my cards are not slipping around, because it's really annoying when you get something the way you want it and then it slips. Another thing I love to use to jazz up those cards, because you can keep them as plain or you could decorate them as much as you want to, is washi tape. I also like to go through my stash of, die cuts and stickers to see what other products will work. So I'm adding a little bit of black with the washi, with a few die cuts, to get that contrast on the page. I wanted to take off the floral on the right because it's just standing out a bit to me. I don't have really anything floral on this page, and I'm adding that green. There's something about this mossy green that feels really good. I love the September card there that has that same green. I have a green grass photo up in the top left, so it's really helping this spread to feel balanced. The other thing I want to do here is to use this cardstock pack from scrapbook.com, and you'll find all of the products linked in the video notes, so that if you want to, create the same kind of project, you can do that. I'm using that along with some of their number dies, this fancy number dies, to add '09 to my 4x6 card. And I'm doing that just because I want to add, I love numbers. I love numbers. I love using them in my pockets. And so I will often add the number of the month that I am documenting here. So I die cut those with that dark teal, bringing out that color from the stripes and the memories card on the left, and I'm adding that just above that die cut there. That die cut has a little bit of gold on it too, so you'll see me add some gold accents. My monthly spreads are really ones that I do not do a lot of extra embellishment on, because they're more about the photos and the memory. So I try to keep them more simple. The other reason I try to keep them simple is because I have a lot of them to do. I usually do 2 spreads for every month. Now I'm grabbing this Jen Hadfield collection because when I am using a set of cards like this one from scrapbook.com, I like to, find a set of die cuts or a collection that I know coordinates with it. And this month is all about kind of homey things and being at home. We had a renovation going on. So that's why I grabbed this die cut pack from this collection, because I knew it had a lot of home themes to it. I'm changing my mind and going back with that cute little kid pocket there. It also has that kind of mossy green color to it, so it adds a little bit more of that color. And I'm seeing if there are any die cuts that would work on this moss green card over here, and I found this cute little house, but I'm going to cut off the branches off of the side and just give that a little something different. Add a little die cut underneath. And there we go. It's like its own little custom embellishment. Don't forget that you can also use dimensional adhesive in your pocket protectors. I wouldn't go with a really thick size, but this one from scrapbook.com, it works really well. I'm adding that washi again here underneath the die cut. I want that washi in 3 different places so that you can kind of track that around the page. So I have it on the memories card, on the home card, and then that little house as well. Just seeing if there's anything else that I want to add here, any other die cuts that I want to add. Again, I'm keeping it simple, and I always tell people who are starting out with pocket pages to keep things simple, because that's the beauty of pocket pages. It's really, it's all about the photos, it's all about the words there. These tabs are really great, and I thought if I could add a little bit more black to that left page on my spread. I really like the pink that says together, but I really need some more black. So I added that up there, and I will just save that right there because I do want to add some stitching to that. That's kind of like the most extra thing I'm going to do on this page. So I'm going to adhere it first, then go back and add a little bit of white stitching. So with that, I'm just going to add a few gold dots and call this spread done. I really love the way that this looks. It has all of those, beautiful little touches next to my photos while still keeping everything super simple. The reason why this came together so quickly was I used a coordinated set of pocket cards from scrapbook.com, and I also had all my pocket cards organized so that if I needed one or two to coordinate with it, I had those on hand in those beautiful organizers from scrapbook.com. So I hope this video will inspire you to go through your stash, whether that's your pocket cards, your pattern paper, and find a great way to organize them. Thanks so much for watching today, and be sure to check out all of the products that I used in my video notes by clicking that down arrow or by checking out the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Happy creating, and don't forget to subscribe for more.